Hello, my name is Yvonne. I'm here from JK Lifestyle with Yvonne. Today we're meeting with Courtney Thomas. He's the co-founder of Luna Float Spa and Salt Cave. It's in Colorado Springs. The reason why I wanted to talk to you today is because I was impressed. I mean, you're the co-founder of your own business, and you overcame such odds in order to achieve that. And I know it wasn't easy. So could you tell me a little bit about your spa?
Well, yeah, definitely. Again, Luna Float Spa and Salt Cave. We've been open for about 4 years now. We actually had our 4-year anniversary, and we do offer it's a relaxation experience.
Mhm.
Flotation therapy. We have a salt cave, infrared sauna. We have massage therapy, um, ionic foot baths, energetic offerings, so like sound bowls, Reiki, different things like that. And then next door, so we're in a complex with multiple units. We have 4 of those units. And so we also have like a transcendental meditation center that's next door to the salt cave where we teach meditation and yoga and different things like that as well.
Mhm. What made you start that type of business?
Yeah, I did my bachelor's degree in a system of healthcare from Eastern India called Ayurveda, in integrative health. So I was on my own personal path to begin with, and I was looking for ways to purify the mind and body. I was having some difficult experiences, and I wanted to make a deeper connection with the God or the creator, however we look at that. And how I was feeling is, God is within. And so if we really want to have this intimate relationship with the creator, then I needed to find ways of purifying the temple. And so I went on a journey, restlessly seeking ways of doing that, and it led me to Ayurveda. And that's the thing that kind of helped me out the most, that and meditation. So when I got those results, I knew that I wanted to share this information with other people. And that's when I decided to open the wellness spa.
What are some of the challenges that you faced before? What
Yeah.
what was the turning point in your life to make you say, this is a new direction I want to go into?
So that the turning point came from the challenges. The challenges was multiple incarcerations during my 20s. And the third time, I just didn't want to live the lifestyle that I was going down, the path that I was going down. And so I didn't grow up with religion. I didn't really have a relationship with God or Jesus or anything like that. And I felt like I needed to make some type of drastic change. And so that last year in prison, I decided I would just kind of like go through the Bible and see what stood out to me, see how I was feeling about things. And I remember coming across John 14:12. And, I was reading about all these miraculous things that Jesus had done. But John 14:12 was in the red letters. It was Jesus saying, not only will my disciples do the works that I've done, but they'll do greater things because I'm going to the Father. And I honestly didn't believe that to be the truth at the time. But I had that faith, and that faith again was about the size of a mustard seed, and it started my path. And I remember making like a sincere prayer. It was, if you really are who you are, then just guide me, and there's no place I won't follow. And where I was guided was to Eastern Indian traditions of healthcare, and I followed it all the way. So
You know something, when you said John 14, there was a verse. I was going through a very, very difficult time also. Um, Someone very close to me who I love very much was going through a health scare. And one night, uh, one of the verses that came to me was John 14. I think it was like the first or second verse, and that sustained me.
yeah.
So when you said that, it was just almost brought tears to my eyes because I know how I felt when I read that. So
Yeah, well,
sometimes, you know.
it says the word is life, and it brings life. It brought me hope, that I felt convicted that, I had more potential inside of me that I was
Mhm,
wasting. And
mhm,
that gave me the hope to see like even if I don't necessarily reach the heights of Christ, that I can at least not continue to go back through these repetitive cycles of in and out of prison. And I mean, I've been able to soar, to great heights during my time. That was 2011,
mhm,
2012 when I ended up reading that verse. So you're talking 12, 13 years ago. But I've had much success and
mhm.
just kind of grateful that I had that experience. I don't kind of looking back, I don't, downgrade the experiences that I have to go through to get to where I am today. I look at them as learning experiences, and they've, propelled me to now want to help other people who might be in those dark places to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. And if you just go and take that path, then, you know, it can be your story as well. You can rewrite your story and live, a life of prosperity.
Can you tell me what exactly is transcendental meditation and how does it differ from the other forms of meditation?
Yeah, so there's a guy named Maharshi Mahesh Yogi. He came over to US in about 1950, somewhere around then, and he
Mhm,
started the Transcendental Meditation technique. Transcendental meditation is a simple and effortless process where you're using a mantra. A mantra is a sound, and that
mhm,
sound is, you can say, like a vehicle for the mind to go within. I
mhm,
remember also reading, a verse, that seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else will be handed on to you or added on to you.
mhm,
And my question then was, where is this kingdom? Right?
mhm,
The kingdom of
mhm,
heaven is within. And so this was a technique that I found to bring the awareness, the consciousness, the mind within in an effortless process. It differs because I mean, I've done many different meditations in my past while when I was going through my seeking process, where you had to, concentrate, whether it was concentrating on a certain place or concentrating on your breath or mindfulness. Mindfulness techniques is another type of meditation. So you mostly have three types: a concentration-based meditation, a mindfulness meditation, where you're just kind of observing the thoughts that's going along, and then transcendental meditation differs because that sound doesn't have a meaning. It's like a primordial sound of nature. And this helps the mind and body to align with those laws of nature. So that intelligence that, created the cosmos and the universe, and that same intelligence now goes through you to help you create and achieve and manifest your desires with least effort, most efficiency.
You know what scares me about meditation
What's that?
is that you have to quiet your mind. And I'm telling you, my mind races all the time. I mean, even if I have the TV on mostly all the time. And there was a time when I did like quietness. I did like, the TV off for certain things. Uh, I used to like waking up in the middle of the night and it's very quiet, but now it's like my mind constantly races. So when you say meditation, how would a person quiet their mind so they can focus?
Yeah. So it's the common misconception that meditation is about just quieting or forcing the mind to shut off, to be clear.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, that is another reason why I really enjoy the practice of TM, because it's not about, forcing the mind to be quiet. It's almost an impossible task. That's why all these different other types of meditation techniques were really created. It was a way to test, kind of like force the mind to do a certain thing. And think of if you're reading a book and your favorite song comes on. the mind automatically kind of goes to that favorite song. So the mind likes, what it likes, and what the mind likes is greater expansion, more expansion. And by using this sound as a sound of nature, this is what just simply allows the mind to go within without trying to force it. If you have a dog and you want the dog to sit or be still or stay, you can either chain it up or you can give it good food. But just by giving it the good food, the food that it likes, then it's going to stay without any trying, without effort. And so here's a technique where you're just using this sound and you're thinking it. It's a repetition of thinking this sound, and automatically the mind goes within and starts to settle down. The scientific studies have shown, that breath rate slows down, heart rate slows down, your metabolism slows down. And this is how you get into this quiet place without trying to force it upon yourself. And again, that it's just a misconception of meditation in today's society, that meditation is about forcing the mind to be quiet. It's not like that at all. And this is why someone would need a teacher to kind of clear up all these misconceptions, and so that you can have a sound or a mantra that's specifically for you, and to show you how to use it properly. That's when I started to see the most results.
Like for instance, you see some of these tapes where you may hear waves crashing on the shore. The sound can be very relaxing or something of that nature you're talking about.
Yep. I mean, that's one way of
That's
seeing
like
it. Those are, those are relaxing sounds, we can say. But
because
when, I mean, think of like a piano, A note, B note, C note. These are sounds, but these are vibrations, these are frequencies, and these are primordial sounds of nature. The mantras are, you can think of them like that, but they are a little bit more subtle, a little bit more refined, and more in alignment with the laws of nature. And so they just work on your behalf. That's how it works.
okay. You know, I've seen some of those bowls where they have the tuning fork. You mean something of that nature too? That could be one of them, makes the
Yes,
sound
I
as you,
actually,
okay.
that's what I do here at the spa. That's
Mhm,
one of the things that I personally do here is Himalayan singing bowls. We call them sound baths. Each one of
mhm,
my bowls has those certain frequencies, A note, B note, C note, and they
mhm,
do work similar. Mantras are just on a more subtle level. When sound is subtle, it has a greater amplitude. It's more effective than when you're
mhm,
just hearing it on the surface level. When
mhm,
you have that vibratory, more subtleness, and when the mind begins to settle down, you can like test it with the brainwave activity. You put an EEG, on your head, you start to think a certain thought. That thought has a certain frequency. It's at this many
mhm,
hertz. And so when you can get the mind to really settle down to a good place, brain coherence starts to function, meaning, the left and right hemispheres of your brain start to fire together. And then when you have these thoughts, they're just much more effective.
Okay, if you have a person that have a very high stress level profession and they would come to you because they need to relax before they have a stroke or a heart attack or fall down dead or whatever. You know what I mean? What would you do to help them?
So there's two different approaches that I use. I have a consciousness approach, and then I have just like a relaxation approach. The
Mhm,
consciousness-based approach is where you're going to be most effective, but
mhm,
everyone's not ready for that. And so, like, those are the consciousness-based approach, meaning the meditation, the yoga asanas, an Ayurvedic lifestyle. These are the things that helped me to achieve the success that I have today.
mhm,
As a business mind, um, I didn't think that was the best business model. Especially, I opened my spa in 2020, July. So this is the height of COVID.
mhm.
And we've been extremely successful. But it was a point where I just felt like most people right now, the level of consciousness of the society, would more likely pay for relaxation than transformation. Everyone's willing to come in for a spa day. They can spend $100 to $300 on a spa where they're just getting treatments done. So that's the flotation therapy, which is it does similar to what, meditation does, but it's using the body instead of using the mind to release stress, to calm the system down, to kick in the parasympathetic nervous system.
Where
Um,
where do you do the flotation? When you said flotation, I'm thinking water.
Yes. So
Mhm,
again, that's the main service of our spa, Luna Float Spa. So
mhm,
they used to be known as sensory deprivation tanks.
mhm, mhm,
It's about 200 gallons of water, about 900 pounds of Epsom salt. And so that much salt, like, helps with muscle tensions, things that's going on with the body. But the main part of it is that you can cut the lights off, you can reduce sound, and that the water temperature is about 96, 97 degrees to match your skin temperature. So after
mhm,
about 15 minutes, you actually start to lose the sense of touch. Usually our energy is always going out through our sensory perception, and we never have that time to bring that awareness within, cut off the senses. And
mhm,
so that's our most popular service. If someone, is high stress, they may come in just to do a float, and that'll take an hour, and they'll pay their money, and then they leave and the stress comes back and you have to come back and pay more money. I'm okay with that. If that's where
mhm,
you are, is that's a place
mhm,
of relaxation. And I have many
mhm,
different services that kind of work on that same level. The transformation part is, you say meditation or yoga, these are things now that you have to commit to be consistent with, to do twice a day. Spending 20 minutes in the morning for meditation, 20 minutes for yoga asanas twice a day, every day. And society that I've seen isn't at that place currently.
mhm,
Not everyone, but most of society especially that I've seen through business, they'd
mhm,
rather come in, have a 3 hour spa day, pay this amount of money where they could have paid that same amount of money to have a technique that they can use daily on their own and have more results. So I can approach it two different ways. Wherever you are, I want to meet you where you are. And then as you get to know us, like us, and trust us, then we can bring you into the transformation if that's what you're looking for.
mhm. I'm like the relaxation one. That's where I am. So, let's see. Okay, let me I'm gonna ask one of the questions that you put down here.
Sure.
What advice would you give to someone skeptical about the benefits of meditation and holistic health practices?
So I was skeptical myself at first.
Mhm,
I didn't grow up with this in my neighborhood. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Like,
mhm,
drugs and violence was what I was around, and we didn't have this teaching
mhm,
or this knowledge that I use today. And
mhm,
what it took for me was someone that was prominent in, society and the community, which was Oprah Winfrey. And I said to myself, if Oprah is doing it, I can give it a try. Like, when I was growing up, Oprah was on our TV as a kid, so it was like, so for myself, that's the image that I look to be for other people. Now you can see where my story began, where I was 12 years ago, in and
mhm,
out of the system and not having a direction or a way to move forward. And you can see the lifestyle that I'm living today. Also
mhm,
in the Bible, it says, you'll know my disciples by their fruit. And so it has to be an inner transformation and an outer showing of what's going on as well, in order to let other people see, yeah, I'm skeptical of it, but man, if he did it, maybe I can do it too. It's going to be skepticism because it's something that you've never done before. And it's going to be uncomfortable because it's growth. I had to go through it. And anyone who wants to really transform their life is going to have to go through something that they're skeptical of, because obviously they haven't had this knowledge before. and it's going to be uncomfortable. That growth process of what you're going through. And it doesn't have to be, yoga or meditation. I've done, Qigong, Chinese practice. I've been a complete seeker of knowledge. And this is just the things that helped me the most out of my 8, 9 years of seeking and applying and seeing what was actually happening in my life. Um, it started for me from a book, where I, again, didn't know anything about yoga. I didn't even know Oprah was doing these things at first, but I read a book. The book was about 8 weeks of balance, and I was started to kind of do yoga at my home, and I saw benefits. That led me to go to a local gym to take a class, and I saw more benefits. I'm one about authenticity, so I knew that there was more, and so my continued seeking is what helped me to continue to dive down the rabbit hole. And the more results I saw, man, it was just like, I really don't care about, because my parents didn't understand, my family didn't understand, my friends didn't understand. I understand what's happening with me. So despite about everyone else not understanding, this is my own personal journey. And if you want to have that journey for yourself, sometimes you're going to have to break free from the doubts and the skepticism. Just dive in and see what happens. And if you don't like it, then, try something different.
What direction or what are your future goals for your business?
Yeah, we're really killing it right now as far as business. So over the next 10 years, we're looking to create 25 locations in our region. So we're looking to do a franchise model. We have one more piece that we have to add on to the spa currently before we start that franchising model. And then we'll start to do some other locations personally through, me and my wife. And then we'll, just create that. So we're working with some business consultants, seeing how to bring all that into fruition. It's a long, drawn out process, but it's been fun. Like, I have a full staff. I no longer have to work in the business. I'm working on the business. That gives me a lot of freedom. Um, it's more for me about the message now, getting the message out. Now that the business is secure and it's doing its own work, it has its own mission. Now I'm looking to put my message out and do more, speaking engagements, more teaching. That's what I'm looking to personally do while the spa grows itself.
What is your website?
Yeah, it's lunafloatspa.com. LUNA like the moon, float spa. That's our website. You can find all of our information on there, from the services that we offer in spa. We have a specific tab for meditation, so that would lead you to our Transcendental Meditation Center website. We're Colorado Springs, TM. You can find our retreats. We're just starting to do retreats now because the retreat was a big thing that helped the transformation for me. Oprah was doing these meditations with a guy named Deepak Chopra. I didn't know who Deepak was at the time. It's again like 2012. But 2015, we went out to his center to do a retreat. And that's when I really started to see the transformation happening. So we're now
How long,
off.
how long are the retreats for? Like 2 or 3 days or a
The
week?
retreats that we're holding now is a 7-day retreat. The first one starts in September of 2025. And you can find that on our website as well. Just look under the retreat tab and you can find out all the information about that as well. But that would entail all of the things that we have at the spa, plus all of the consciousness aspects that I was mentioning as well, in an integrated format so that you can see the most progress and the most results in that time, and how to integrate that, moving forward once you leave the retreat as well.
Well, thank you for joining me today.
It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you having me on today.
Not as much as I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, goodbye. That was Courtney Thomas today. Thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye, everyone.